good evening, everybody. John Henry Soto here, along with George Batista. Welcome to the Artist Blueprint. Tonight, we are very excited. We have Tommy Burke is on the show. And as you can see right there, it's an endearing story of overcoming the odds through dark humor, tenacity, authenticity, and happiness. And what a tremendous story. He's also has 30 years in film and television. So that's going to be something that I'm really going to be interested in diving into as well. And he has a new book, Not Just Sunglasses and Autographs, which we're going to be talking a lot about this evening. So we are here, and I'm just in the middle of trying to do two things at once, which is always a fun thing to do. Welcome, George.
Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Always a pleasure. So we want to get started. We want to jump right into it. So please, let's just do our sponsor, and then we're gonna bring Tommy on.
All right, thank you, sir. So, the Artist Blueprint is brought to you by Wellness Resources, a family-owned and operated nutritional supplement company providing the highest quality, clinically formulated supplements since 1985. Find out why. They are not only my choice, but the choice of many health-conscious individuals around the world. You can check out their supplements at myvitaminresource.com. And by the way, we typically give you a promo code, and the promo code used to be Counterparts, but since now we are the Artist Blueprint, as of tomorrow, our new promo code, because you guys are listeners and viewers, it will be Artist Blueprint. And if you enter that promo code after tomorrow, you will get free shipping on your order. So don't forget, again, it's the promo code Artist Blueprint. And if you take advantage of their monthly special, you will also get savings there as well. And this month's special is their thyroid and metabolism supplement. So it's 25% off. So again, you have the not only the monthly special, but you also have the promo code, which is Artist Blueprint. So Wellness Resources supplements, great supplements at myvitaminresource.com.
All right. Take it away, George.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about our guest today, Mr. Tommy Burke. We are excited to have him on the show, and he has an amazing story. So I'll talk a little bit about him. With more than 30 years of TV and film production experience, Tommy Burke brings an extensive and diverse list of credits to his latest creative endeavor, a book about the industry and its insurmountable odds. He was a graduate of Boston College. Burke started out in television as a production assistant and quickly moved up to production ranks to secure assistant director credits, including Jerry Bruckheimer's acclaimed TV series Skin, Close to Home, CSI Miami, and the pilot for Desperate Housewives. He also spent his last 5 years on Chicago PD. In 2003, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and to no surprise, given his known tenacity, Burke conquered the disease into remission. Since then, he has documented his journey in his autobiography entitled Not Just Sunglasses and Autographs, 30 Years of Film and Television Production with Life and Near-Death Lessons. And we are very honored to have him on this program today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Mr. Tommy Burke.
How are you?
Not me. All right. Welcome to the show. We're honored to have you here. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us and to talk to us about not just your book, but your experiences and, of course, everything with film and that whole journey of you. So how are you?
I'm doing great. John, George, how you doing?
We are doing fantastic. We're having a good night. We just had a lot of snow here in Nashville, by the way, which Nashville is not a snow place. So if it snows more than 3 inches, the city shuts down. And we've been shut down for 2 days now.
You know, when I was a Boston guy, Chicago PD, and I remember the cold we'd shoot outside in Chicago. And now I'm in Redondo Beach, California. I go, I love Boston.
Yeah.
But this doesn't suck.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. We get average here is like 4 to 5 inches the whole year. I'm from New York, so, we get bombarded. But George is upstate New York, where he's covered in snow like 90% of the year. So
Yeah, pretty much.
near.
We had a foot about a week or two ago, so
Oh my
that's
god.
normal.
What's to stop you from moving, George?
No, I will be. Trust me, very soon, actually.
So we wanted to kind of get the ball rolling. George has he's the more official guy. He kind of like writes things down, and he has some questions that he wanted to throw out at you, if that's okay with you. And I'm just going to turn it over to him, and he'll get.
He knows everything about us.
Tommy has notes on us. He's been researching us. He knows more about. He knew I was from the Bronx. He knew I'm a musician. He knows a lot about us right now. So we're a little bit defenseless.
Tommy, make sure you shred that document because it has my social security number on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just bought a car on your social security number.
Hate when that happens. So Tommy, first of all, again, thank you for coming on the show. And so obviously with all your experience in the industry, I'm fascinated to hear everything you've done and stuff like that. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit first about your backgrounds for those who don't know. Were you always fascinated with the film industry and that? Did you ever want to be in front of the camera, or did you always want to be behind the camera? So how did that work? Because I know you worked your way into the industry and kind of worked your way up, but how did you actually get started? What was your mindset in the beginning?
Well, my father taught at Boston College. So my parents said to me, if you get into a better school, we'll pay for it. You get a less school, you'll pay for it. You go to free to Boston College, so you go to Boston College.
Yeah, that's
And
good choice.
my master's television teachers, they said film, yuck, chemicals, because the Irish, in the 30s and 40s, the Irish Catholic kids, they wanted to go to school and get in a business where they wear a suit and ties. They came from working class background. So I could dress like this and be a film. I mean, there's nothing, it's just, they wanted their kids to do better. So my master, I think I told you, my master television teacher said, yuck, film, yuck, chemicals. So I graduated Boston College. I went to a Burlington, Vermont, best city in the world.
Mm.
And I missed a television job by day. I worked in a factory. I worked at Beaches Foods. I did a bunch of things. I went down to Boston. I was still looking into it. It's a thing called PAs.
Mm.
So I sent 9 letters, mailed them out like the old days. And one person answered my email, my mail. And it was later on the 9/11 flight. But he hired me. I didn't go to BU or Emerson or technical school. They know all the stuff. I stood there like a bum on the log at the studio because Boston College didn't teach anything about technical stuff.
Mm.
So the director said to me, I never want that guy on the set again.
Oh, wow.
So I heard what a grip truck was. The guy has all the equipment. I went to work there. I started learning everything. Then the same company had another commercial, and they were going through the resumes as a new director. And they said, what about this guy? He said, the director doesn't want him on the set. Well, it's another director. He's a big guy. I was like a guided missile. I just ran my ass off all day.
Yeah.
I started becoming the #1 PA in Boston. It was like being the head dishwasher. And they said, you want to be an AD? You got to go to LA.
Mm.
So to LA.
Wow.
I started getting the business.
Mm.
So when you went to LA, did you come with like references already, or did you show up and have to kind of like work your way again, and like you did in Boston?
Well, I edited the film on mermaids, and a lot of people, Eileen Henderson was the accountant on that, so she gave me a lot of references.
Oh, good.
I worked a lot. I worked on a film called Linguini Incident. The Friday before I started, my car was stolen, brand new car, and the next Friday I was fired.
Oh.
Oh.
So I was when I was on Boston, I was a set dresser once around. You pick up whatever job you can. Jeff Beecroft was the set production designer on that. I was at a local newsstand picking up the trays to find more jobs. He was in there scouting a film, a set. Just happened to be there. I talked to him.
Wow.
He said, "Put Tommy Burke on."
That's
Wow.
like,
Wow.
so you hear so much about this in the business. You know, you hear stories of like, well, I just happened to be walking by and I tripped and I landed into someone and then they knew this person and they connected. Do you find that to be true across the boards a lot, or is there like more to it than that? Because you hear
Well,
the stories so often.
well, I say you're never going to meet anyone in your living room,
That's 100% true.
but it's a little different now with all the social media. But it's still they want to see you.
Right.
So take people out for coffee. I can't do this, but handwritten thank you letters, they're worth gold.
Hmm.
They're worth gold.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, right?
I mean, they're probably worth more now than ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
That's very,
you would think because people are not used to getting that, right? So if you actually get that, that's like, whoa,
that is good. You're right. You're right. That's 100% true. That's accurate. Wow.
incredible. Did you so are you do you find that today, just going through the industry, because again, you worked your way in and worked your way through that, the way things are today now, can people still do that, or is it a completely different story now?
Well, it's a new thing. I was at pretty much the top of my game when all the social media came in. I've been out of the business for 6 years.
Right.
I'm retired,
Hmm.
but I hear think my niece is. I just went to coffee with my niece, and I tell her, she goes, "No, I'm not going to do that." It's hilarious. Like I just, I step in, I step out because I
Right.
believe you
Right.
got to learn your mistakes yourself. My
Right.
favorite analogy is like you tell someone, "Don't touch the stove. Don't touch the stove. You touch the stove, you'll learn."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's something that always fascinates me when, because I have a talent agency and I've worked with in record labels where you're talking to someone and you're kind of from experience, you're like, this happened to me and it really sucked. I'm just trying to help you. And they're like, nah, it's not going to happen to me. And then they go and I'm talking to somebody now who actually the exact thing I told them to watch out for happened. And now they're telling me the story. In the back of my head, I want to just kind of be like, I told you, but I kind of keep it chilled out because I don't want to rub salt in the wound. But it's a very interesting industry, and when it comes to social media and the way things are marketed today, um, you didn't get to experience that part of it. Do you think that hurts the industry, or do you think it's a better thing for the industry?
I think it's worse
Yeah.
because people are making inroads. I think that one of the worst things to happen was the film business to go digital
Mm.
Ah.
Mm.
because I think people uh, they learn they were more cautious about hiring people with film.
Right. Right. And it seemed more like it was also focused on the art because film is expensive and you can't, it's digital. You can
Exactly.
just, yeah, you can just shoot a million scenes in it. But film, you have to really craft that scene because this is it. We don't want to waste it.
I could have said it better, John.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate because I know that digital has made some strides in looking pretty good, and a lot of films are made in digital. I mean, even some big directors have gone digital, which is. But I know Scorsese talks a lot about he never wants to go there. And funny enough, when all this technology goes away, the only thing that's going to be left are those films that we can just get a light and just flash it and still experience movies when all the digital and power goes out. So it's actually the only way to really save our 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 asses basically as filmmakers.
I was watching Project Greenlight. and the director wanted film. I said, you know what? Well, you're Martin Scorsese, you get a film.
Right.
It's like um,
Yeah.
I just made this analogy. A minor league baseball player uh, going up and said, "I want a $75 bat. Get some hits, get on base. You get higher up to get your $75 bat."
Right. That makes sense. Like, we're not gonna give you. We're gonna. Yeah. Wow. I love that. So, did you ever experience digital shooting?
Oh yeah, last Chicago PD was everything is digital the last few years.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's the money.
Yeah.
I said I keep forgetting this guy's name. I'm embarrassed. I keep forgetting his name. Um, Don Olmeyer.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Especially I quote it like once a day or once a week. I want to get it right. The answer to all your questions is money. Whatever
mm.
problem you have, it's going to end up being money.
that
Yeah.
is that is a that is always true, especially with film, because you can resolve pretty much anything with when you have the money.
John, I saw a lot of your movies.
My movies?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The black and white was my favorite.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
I like that one.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
have one that's out that just did the festival circuit that's not out anywhere. I'll send it to you if that's okay with you. And
John,
yeah.
when I talk to people, you're the epitome of what I'm going to say.
Okay.
At a film school, I said, they're saying I got a script. I'm an actress. Why aren't you talking to the actress and doing a read through? Why aren't you shooting a trailer?
Right.
You get off your ass, you do it.
Yeah, thank you. I do, yeah. I learned, I don't know where I got that from, but I think it was from my mom.
Yeah.
My mom
God
just
bless.
was always very encouraging and just said you can do whatever. And I remember thinking, well, why not? I didn't go to film school. I literally became a background actor just so I can be on set, so I could learn. And then I just started writing and I started just shooting, and that's what I've been doing for a while now. I love to do it. I love to tell stories. Did Was there ever a time when you were on? This happens to me when I did background stuff, and you just get a little bit angry at the waste of time. Because on my sets, I'm very A to B because I know, first of all, I don't want to keep the actors there longer than they need to be there. So I'm very conscious of, I know I'm going to use this actor at this time. I'm not going to have them come in at 4 o'clock in the morning because they're not going to be on till this time. So I'll have them come in a little bit earlier, but not that early. And I try to keep things moving along. And I have somebody there that's helping me move things along. But I get on some of these sets as either as an actor or an assistant, and it just blows my mind because I'm thinking to myself, this is one of the reasons why Hollywood, the money is just so thrown away, because I feel like if you give somebody a $500,000 to do a film, they can make a great film if they're really, really organized. Where if you give somebody, $30 million for a film and they just don't have any organization, they'll make a crappy film for $30 million. So anyway, I have a little bit of charge anger on that.
I made it fun when I was an AD.
Yeah.
I called all the background celebrities. I stole that from David Jellison.
Nice.
I said, why aren't we shooting? He said, my fault, let's go. I made things fun. I kept the energy going. That's from my
great.
restaurant business. So also what you
Wow.
can do is do a timeline. People don't believe this, but just time out this. You don't have to be on the nose, but say this will take 2 hours. Let's take an hour and time it out. And you could say, well, maybe I don't need it. And even if you don't have to hit the times are up, but it gives you, we give it to the actors and says, well, he's trying.
A
He's not showing
framework.
up. He's saying you're not just, shooting and off the hip. He's trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Framework. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
John, use me, John.
I'm going to ask you a lot of questions after we're off the air. I'm going to send you emails. You're going to be like, why did I ever say use me?
First thing I want to ask you is, did you ever think about being an actor at all?
People have said to me I should be an actor. Once film Kimberly, the director, it was over budget, so they forgot to cast a part. So they wanted the director wanted the part, so he started auditioning people. I take another thing is I take adult classes. Whenever I'm not working, I'm trying different things. I took an
Oh,
adult class for acting just to do it, just to have fun. And I
sure.
got on. I became SAG eligible. I'm still SAG eligible. I don't know if I'm still am, but it was fun. And yeah, I it's tough for actors. I mean, you just look at me and say you're a good AD, but you don't look like one.
Hmm.
You turn you down. I mean, that's weird. That's crazy. I mean,
That's weird.
actors have.
That is bizarre. Well, I saw something with Jason Alexander where he was talking about how the era of the actors sitting at home waiting for an agent or waiting for their for to get cast or to be called in, those days are kind of over. Where if you're an actor, you have to start creating your parts. You have to start learning how to do other things, learning how to write, learning how to direct, learning how just because the industry is just it's just so different now where you really have to kind of create yourself in the industry as opposed to sitting back and waiting for the phone to ring.
I mean, I said that 20 years ago. Now it's more true.
Wow.
Self taping. I don't know. Do you do self tape?
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
mean, I
crazy.
don't haven't done them in a while since I've been in Nashville for I've been here for 2 years, but that was a big thing. I think with the whole couple of years, it became more apparent to some of the studios or some of the casting that they can pretty much save some money on the brick and mortar buildings and just kind of get a bunch of reels and then go through them and then rent a room for a day, which kind of sucks, but
The answer to all questions is money.
it is, man. It really is. It really is.
Speaking of money, what's your thought about everything that went on with the strike and the whole thing?
I was doing my homework on this show.
You must have saw that episode.
I saw the episode. It was great.
Oh, good.
Fact check. I saw the whole thing,
Oh, thank you.
and I tried to find a Facebook video. It was so good. I want to find out. I'll send it to you. They talk about the big money makers are crashing.
Yes.
Mhm.
I wish I could speak more intelligent to it because I only watched it once. But they said um, they're 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 not thinking intelligently about Me Too. They're shoving people in for you can get a person of color. It's right in the part. It fits in the part. You like it is not a factor. When you make it like a factor, it
Right.
throws the film off.
Completely. 100%. George and I talked a little bit about this actually on maybe on that episode.
Yeah.
We talked, or one of the episodes, I know we talked about what you can feel when it's forced. This character is this way, not because they not because they belong there, but because somebody pushed them there to make it seem like so we can be compliant to whatever has to be compliant, whatever the hell they're doing. And I think that was part of the what I think is kind of screwing up storytelling because I was at a film festival and somebody raised their hand to ask a question. And they asked me what that they noticed that I'm Puerto Rican, that I'm Latino, and that I didn't have any Latinos in my film. I be honest with you, and I swear to God on this, it did not occur to me at all that when I was telling the story that I didn't have Latinos in it. I literally casted what I saw in my head would fit the part, and
Isn't the guy who gave the gun to you,
right.
was he Latino?
um
I'm freaking you out, aren't I?
Yeah, you did. What was that?
The film where the cop is in his bathrobe on the and he's trying to give you a gun.
Oh yes, yes, yes. That's right. Exactly. He was not Latino. He's Italian. He was Italian. Um, yeah, that this it was an interesting conversation though because I didn't again it didn't occur to me to do that. But I said to them, I said, what I said was I'm a filmmaker who happens to be Puerto Rican. I'm not a Puerto Rican filmmaker. And three people on this side went, yeah. Everyone else was like, how dare you?
Don't you love film festivals? A segue where they want to ask a question and they say, "I have a script. It's getting funding. I have people attached. What?" And the question is, "What color shirt should I wear?" I mean, you
Right.
spend a half hour launching into the question.
I can't tell you how many meetings I've been in where, well, we have funding. We have the cousin who's related to a guy who's the nephew of somebody who was in Shanshock Redemption, knows somebody who can get us some funding for this film. And I'm like, well, then we're ready to go. Um, but I guess that's the challenge. It is about having enough money to make a product. But don't you think that with digital you can make a product is at least a story being told that someone could look at and say, okay, the story was told correct, well, and the camera angles were unique and were different, and it pulled people in and didn't lose anyone. With digital, you can get more people doing that, which is good and bad, I guess. You can have a lot of bad films, but you can get also a lot of people that generally wouldn't have the cash. Me from when I started, to make a film.
I think it's like a business card.
Oh, that's a good point.
You're showing people. I mean, you're getting your face out there. I mean, at the very least, you don't know you touch it. They go, yeah, get that guy who did that black and white thing about the woman getting kicked out of her apartment,
Right,
or get the woman. I mean,
right,
it's it's so many deluged with and people don't want they want to go walk on set and be a, a superstar right off the bat.
right, right. I guess it's interesting you said that the business card because I kind of said that once where I was saying it's a short film is a business card because you're not
Yeah.
going to monetize a short film to make you a living. It's like it's showing that look, I can tell a story in a short amount of time. Give me a little bit of cash and I can tell the same story, maybe extend it. With some help and some writing. But yeah, it is like a business card. You're right. I
If
think
someone drops a big money on you, you don't want to be making the mistakes right off the bat.
right, right. I sometimes I think about that. Like if somebody says we have a script, we want you to direct it, and here's a lot of money for it. I'll be terrified because I'm like thinking, okay, I have to really, really make sure I don't screw this up. I want to make sure that everything is I don't want to overthink it either, but I want to make sure that I know why I'm doing it, not just because there's money on a script. Like I don't want to do something just because there's money in a script.
Do you shot list?
Oh yeah,
That's key because
yeah,
I'm the guy who did Austin Powers, the director. He said he'd do a shot list for the whole day. He'd throw out 50% of the shots, but at least he just he absorbed it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you got David Lynch who just said just grab some like 90 index cards and then just write the first scene on there. And then when you have 70 to 75 cards, you have your feature film. Then he got that's what he said. Then he said, then you go back and then you flesh it out from your cards. You got for all the scenes in there. I thought to myself, that's really interesting. I don't know how I would work that way, but I do work with a lot of index cards, but I don't know about
Well, they have so much. I don't know it, but they have so much shot maker software.
oh yeah.
That you can put pictures on it.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that you can actually do. Yeah, I mean, not having a shot list when I think is the dumbest thing you can do. Showing up on set, not, I don't even know how you would do that. Sorry,
And
George.
Okay.
I'm
Now
losing.
I was gonna ask, can you guys enlighten me a little bit about that? Because I'm interested in what exactly that is.
Oh, a shot list is basically, well, it sets up the day. So a list
Oh,
of all
okay.
the shots that you're gonna do. So
Gotcha.
generally, you're trying to do, I don't know, you can do 20 shots a day if you got two maybe big shots at the beginning of the day, and then maybe you have a lot of little,
well,
shorter scenes.
the AD and the DP are key in scheduling it.
Correct.
Let's say I'm
Uh,
walking into my condo in Redondo Beach. We want to get the outside shot first because if the sun goes away, we're inside. We can finish the rest of it. I'm in a closet right
okay.
now. To make this
Okay.
last, I have a lot of crew. You want to peel off the cast of crew because you start with something small and
Yeah.
want to finish with inserts.
Right. Yeah. So like if you go on set and you realize that they have outdoor scenes, but they're for later in the day, and
Right.
everybody's inside. I look at that as like that's a huge mistake because you don't know what the weather is going to be like later on. You also might lose light. And if you're indoors and you come out and it's dark, you just lost the whole night, and now you got to come back the next day. So shoot everything, the most complicated things that are outdoors for me anyway. I shoot them first.
Oh.
I've always said, and I'll explain this so you don't get too cast in it. Don't look for the bone; the bone will find you. It's like when someone says, we'll shoot this scene at 3. We'll have the actress will make it at 3. No, you don't know that.
No, you don't know that.
You say it's always it's just a bunch of accidents you got to control.
Yep, yep. You have to be on top of that. Yeah.
I
Oh
was good
man.
because my ADD, so my mind's always going. I'm thinking about 4 seeds away because the most important shot is the one you're working on now.
Right.
That's key because don't think too far ahead. That's the AD's thing.
Right.
What was the? Oh, okay.
No, go ahead, George. Go ahead.
No, no. I was just gonna ask. I was gonna ask him. What was the most fun set you were on?
Chicago PD.
Oh yeah,
Really?
that's cool. That's cool. Even with the cold.
You got Midwest people who are doing there
Yeah.
because I mean, when I was in Boston as a kid, I go, "Don't you want to guys? Don't you want to go to LA? I mean, you're filmmakers. No, they shoot in Boston. They have a nice life. I finally figured that out.
Yeah.
LA's
Yeah.
a tough place to live. New York's a tough place to live. So
Yeah.
if you want to do film work and be in Boston, God bless.
Yeah. Yeah. It does make sense. I was going to ask you that type of mindset, and then I want to go into your book actually. But the type of mindset that's for a PA where you really do have to be in the moment for that scene, but you also have to think ahead because you know that you got to get everyone into that room over there by after lunch, or you only have a certain amount of time. You know what the clock is. Is that something that you could learn, or is that something that you felt that you developed?
I developed because I was in restaurant business would help me a lot.
Mm.
I was like a linebacker. I can't see it now, but let's say you director or actor on set looking like this. I go, what does he want? What does he want? I would run and get and then when they see you got the hustle, they give you more responsibilities.
Ah.
Or say
Mhm.
what you want about as an AD, but I was a hell of a PA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well,
So I wanna start the conversation on this book that you wrote. I'm looking forward to it, reading it myself, because it's an insight into the industry, also with challenges that I don't think a lot of people have. It's a very rare look into something that not really many people do, the kind of work that you've done. So what actually was the reason why you decided to write this book?
Well, a simple reason is I said I wrote a book to write a book. I've been out of the business for 6 years,
Mhm.
and I've always, it's I started working when I was a caddy. And I've been working ever since. I've always, the next job. I've never had a full time job. I've never had a job you could walk on a set or a company go, you're fired.
Hmm.
I never had a contract. Um, so I'm always doing so. It's kind of like uh, there was a famous cartoon called Take McNamara. I don't know, it might be before your time. It was just a sports page about an defensive tackle. And when anything's round fell on the floor, he tackled it. It's like me. I cannot see a football bouncing and not grab it.
Right.
So I want also I want to people to learn my mistakes. I say to people I made a ton of mistakes, but I kept going.
Yes. So go ahead, George.
No, it's interesting because not everybody can have a mindset like that. You know what I mean? Because you obviously grab the bull by the horns type of person and able to really take charge and get things done and stuff like that. Whereas other people kind of play it safe. You obviously figured out through your career how to get this job and how to do this and how to do that, and you kind of navigated it instead of taking the safe route, which a lot of people would have done and said, you know what, no, I would rather take that safe route. I mean, have you always had that mindset, or is that something that you just where did that come from for you?
None of my family wanted me to get the film business. My grandmother was from Passaic. She was an immigrant from Poland. My mother's immigrants. My father's family was on welfare. So they'd say to me, so let me get this straight. You don't know when your next paycheck is.
Mm.
And people say to me, don't you worry about that next job. I go, yeah, the first 100 times. And you got it. When I hustled, I was not good on the phone, but I had to become good on the phone because I wanted to eat.
Right.
And I also worked a lot of jobs. I worked at the Improv as a showroom host. I worked a lot of different jobs to give me money to keep going.
Yeah. It's a passion to want to actually have some freedom, even though those freedoms sometimes come, it's a little hard. But the freedom that you get from being able to have that, it's like a power that you can just kind of, you don't have to punch in, so to speak.
Well, I mean, I should take more vacations. I don't want to ruin the book for you, but when I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's a Bruckheimer series. I didn't want to. It's my shot to the big times. So I got cancer. I do 80-hour weeks, do chemo after 14-hour day, wake up the next day, work another 14-hour day, sleep during the weekend.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Well, that right there is that's it right there. I mean, what else?
That's it. Game over.
I mean, that's it right there. What is it?
But you see, I mean, you even tackle that. I mean, think about getting a diagnosis like that and what people go through. As a guy who's worked with people, even in my own family, who've had those type of diagnoses, and it's a devastating thing, right? Obviously, and it's like, you go through these stages, and that's like, but you seem to like say, you know what, I'm going to tackle this head on, and I'm going to go right through it and do what I need to do. And I commend you for that. That's amazing because, it's a tough thing.
Oh, well, I was working those out. My doctor said I could get through it, but you'd expect those hours. When I had after the last remission, after the last x-ray, I was in the doctor's office. So all the treatments are done. I said to my doctor, because he knows me, I used to call him Rosie. All the nurses like, you can't call him Rosie. Like, why? I don't care. I don't have to call him doctor. And I said to him, doctor, am I normal? He's telling me you're never going to be normal, but you're in remission.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Great.
That's so good. That's so good. But it is in that industry, it's also very easy to find excuses why you can't.
Right.
I've met a lot of people who they'll find an excuse. Well, I can't because I got this, or I got that, or I can't because I got this, I got that. But there is something within an artist, a creative person, that just seems to, that light just keeps burning, and it just goes in that direction. And it's a clear, the book, I'm sure, will enlighten everyone on that. So we want everyone to go out and get the book. We're going to get the book, and we're going to actually read it. And we're going to, and if you'd like, you're always welcome to come back, and we could talk more after we read the book, where we'll have some questions, because I feel like you know way more about us than we know about you. So
That's true.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
There it is, my social.
Exactly.
Do we have do we have time to ask about your daughters?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
How's Brianna doing, John?
Well, my son Ben and my daughter Brianna. Yeah, I have two kids, and yeah, they're doing fantastic.
And how's George? How's your daughter had a bad knee
Yeah,
operation?
that's right. Yeah, she tore her ACL. Matter of fact, if now that I remember, I saw you at the hospital when she had that surgery. Did you perform the surgery?
No, I'm in the van outside your place watching.
I knew you looked familiar. You were also at her Sweet 16. Now that I remember.
I don't know how he got my 5 last addresses. I forgot I lived there. Oh, oh,
I may not be your best guest, but I'm your spookiest guest.
you're right.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I'm going to be looking out my window every now and then now.
So I want to jump back into the book a little bit.
Sure.
Are you on the book tour right now? Are you like on the circuit?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, because I don't want to do. I know I'm being facetious, but I don't want to do an amphitheater of talking. I want a small restaurant or coffee bar. I want to talk to people, say, why make it in this film? Don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, I've had a lot of people. I don't brag too much, but this one, I have a lot of people said, I got this through you. You made me
Wow.
want to go further. That's like, I've always said, I don't want an Academy Award. I want someone to on the stage go, I want to dedicate this Academy Award to Tommy Burke, who helped me get through it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's get a little emotional about that, because it's one of the purpose of an artist is to help humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of why we're here, is to elevate how people feel and make people feel better and challenge their emotions, and just change their viewpoints on stuff. I think that's part of it. So when you say that, that's a life where I know that's kind of life that I want to live. George and I talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we want our lives. This is why we have the artist blueprint, because the artist blueprint is sort of like, this is the blueprint to be an artist. And we don't have the answers, but the guests that we have figured things out, and it's a bigger piece. It's a big blueprint, and this is a portion of that. And it's an amazing story. So we're really grateful that you're here with us. When you wrote this book, was there anything in it that was tough for you to write about the industry, that you thought, maybe I shouldn't write this?
I have 50 pages of stuff I didn't write, because it did not move. I mean, I don't pull any punches a lot of times. At the end, there's a glossary of film positions. I call it. I mean, I'm retired. I don't care.
Right.
I tell people what I think.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if I'm reading it and I'm like shocked at things, that I'm seeing about the industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. But again, like he said, he's retired, so it's like whatever.
And the thing is, I've held my hand to the fire.
Right.
You can't say that I haven't given 155%.
Correct. 100%. Do you think that that Hollywood is the Hollywood that we knew is ever going to come back?
I really want to find that video. They said the Marvel thing is just falling apart. Actually, LA is they're starting to lose people.
Oh, well, yeah, that's been California as a whole state is sort of losing people.
I saw a great 60 Minutes on Sunday about New York. All these buildings are empty.
Yeah, it's unsustainable. They can't. I mean, they're flooding. I mean, they're leaving New York and California. It's like the two biggest states that are losing people. Like there was a ridiculous amount. I think it was like a million people a day, or some crazy thing that they're all going down south to Florida and Texas and Tennessee and all these places, because it's you can't live there anymore, and then on top of that, the industry itself has changed so much. You guys know better than I do. And I'm, as a person who just watches the films, I find myself, it's hard for me to even watch a lot of this stuff anymore because there's so much of an agenda being pushed. There's so much stuff going on. And, I just found out they're remaking, what's that movie? That movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie where they were Mr. and Mrs.
Smith.
They're remaking that. And, to you guys, because again, you guys are in the industry, I'm like, when is Hollywood going to have an original thought?
Here's the reason why. I'm not excusing it. I'm explaining it. I don't know how long ago, but the filmmakers they were artists, and business looked into it and they said, "What you put out 10 products, only one successful." So here's the thing. I tell you, I got a film called XYZ 352. What is that film? I've got a market. I've explained it to you. Mr. Smith, you already know. You already have a touchstone, so it's easy to market.
Right.
It's show business. It's all about the business.
Yeah. I was gonna Rick Rubin. I don't. Do you know Rick Rubin, the music producer? So he had a thing where he talked about the other day, and he said, if you're making the people that are making movies now are not movie lovers. They're in the business of selling a thing. So they're not, in the old days, people used to love to make movies. So there was this love of making movies. Now it's like, well, what can sell? Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that's marketable because people are familiar with the old one. So it's like, okay, the Marvel movies, let's have another Spider-Man, let's have another Superman, let's have another Batman, because people that already, triggers something in people and they can understand it. So the independent filmmaker, I think right now is really becoming the leaders of people who love film, because everyone knows if you're an independent filmmaker, there's not a lot of money in it. It's because you love to tell stories, and they're the ones that we have to kind of try to support. The problem is they don't get the Hollywood has all of the theaters bought up, and they have all the connections and all that, and it's hard to get your films. So if you can show your film to 1,600 people, via here or via you rent a studio, a theater somewhere, a local theater, and you get people to enjoy your film, and that's what you get to do. But I think at some point, something's gonna give. Hollywood's gonna sink, and there's gotta be some shift in the creative process, and they gotta find somebody that can put out original content, and someone is going to actually take. And there are some films being made that are good. I'm not knocking all the films that are being produced, but they're just very, very, very hard to watch. They're hard to find, and it's a sad thing. And then living in LA, I don't know how people are surviving in LA. Like an actor that moves to LA now.
I don't know either.
What are you gonna do?
I will touch. I'm going to touch my toe in this subject, and I'm going to take it right out. Theaters with gun violence. I think a lot of. I'm not going to get into guns, but people are going to stop going to theaters.
Yeah.
They can stop a film. They go to the bathroom. They can,
Yeah.
And I go to Costco and you see these screens are huge.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So John, what do you think? What's your niche? What do you think is? I mean, because a lot of films are like for kids and for single males, having it intense. I mean, you can't do much digital in your world. Though a friend of mine is doing, he's learning on special effects from computers.
Yeah.
Market to different films. So, what do you think you're gonna do to make it more adjustable?
For me, I'm not gonna really change anything. I'll go down the way with the way I have an idea for a story. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna cast it, and I'm gonna shoot it. And that's.
I'm not putting you on the spot. I want to hear your opinion about.
I mean, the only thing that I can do differently, which I have thought about, is to get more into networking with other filmmakers to create an actual group of filmmakers that can support each other's films, and then have some type of a network. Like George and I talked about earlier about Plex TV, and getting an account where you can actually have your own network. It's getting
Wow.
easier to do that. It is getting easier to do that, where you can then you have a network and you just promote your network to people. And if you have a really good film on there, they can only go there to watch your film. And with social media marketing and different types of outlets, you can do that.
I should, one of the tricks, 20, 30 years ago, there was a low budget film. They'd have, tell an actor, uh, what's a known actor that hasn't worked in a while?
Wow.
Uh, John Wayne. No, no.
No, that's great. We'll use that. We'll say pretend he's alive. He hasn't worked in
Okay.
a while. You get a film and you got one scene with John Wayne in it. Now you have a John Wayne film.
Right.
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 Right. Right.
So think about bringing actors. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm in the middle of actors. I don't know. I mean, actors in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. God
Mhm.
bless them. God
Yeah.
bless them.
It's not easy, but I do find that there seems to be more films with older characters than, from like 35 and up, than I've seen in a long time, other than maybe I mean, of course, if you look at the Marvel movies, I mean, those are not kids. They're all in their 30s and 40s. I mean, Thor is like almost 50, with his thing flying around.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like
Well, they're
they're
looking at the
kids
character.
either.
They're not looking at the actor.
Correct. Correct. But I think that I don't know exactly if the industry is going to get younger. I think they're going to get older because a lot of people are being raised through social media, and there's just more connection. It's sort of like when Facebook came out, everybody said, well, that's just for the kids. Now the kids are saying Facebook is just for the old people.
That's right. That's right.
Then Instagram came out, and now they're saying, well, Instagram's for the old people. They all went to TikTok.
Yep.
Now, TikTok, there's a lot, the demographics there on there. The average person on TikTok is 40.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so they're not
Wow.
kids there. They're not just kids there. So all these platforms tend to age up because we're all aging up. And so I think if you have content that can relate to that demographic, you have a better chance of getting an audience than just the kids, because the kids are always going to find the newest thing, and then they're just going to complain about their hair, and they're going to talk bad about someone else, and they're going to get into kids stuff. They're not going to buy the film. A 35-year-old is going to go watch your film and pay money for it. And if you have a streaming platform, they'll pay money to watch your film because it's something they can do.
I say, and I've talked to other people, and I always talk about like I'm watching dirty movies, but I say this TV show, Murder, She Wrote. Do you remember Murder, She Wrote?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
of course.
for Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch it all the time.
She was great.
What she did was, and God knows if they do it again, she brought all the old actors.
Yes.
And the smart thing is you might want to take this, John. She would list all the cast in alphabetical order, because
Interesting.
you don't have to worry about stepping on people's toes.
Right.
And
Oh, especially if somebody that hasn't worked in a while but
Was really big 30 years ago. And
was an A-lister. Yeah. You don't want to make them feel like they're at the bottom. Just put them in all. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, see, that kind of thoughtfulness, I don't know if we'll ever have that kind, especially when it comes to things like that.
Well, John, you have to set your pace. I mean, you've done enough films. You're gonna start putting your line in the sand, saying this is all the stuff I'll do. Trying to think of some. What as an AD, what I do, I think called chalk talk. I get the whole crew and cast together in the morning. I'd say, okay, this is where we're gonna be over here. And even if it sounds like they're like, I don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds good. You gotta show up.
That's 99% of what I say is that.
George, have you done any acting?
I have not. I mean, I
He's the one that should be acting.
Please.
He's the one that should be in front of the camera, not me.
I act like I know what I'm doing. That's about it.
You're a gorgeous man, George. You're a gorgeous man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Don't worry. Those looks will be gone pretty soon. Trust me.
We're gonna make you a star, kid.
George, to throw it in your. Do you think there's any supplements that people could take for Parkinson's?
There are, yes, there are. I know there's, I mean, I'm sure you've probably looked at that.
I keep forgetting to take them though.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to take them.
Be a good idea for you two to connect on a separate call at one point, and maybe you can give him some of the stuff that, because I know George is my go-to guy. Now I must say on the record here, because this is recorded, George is not a doctor,
Correct.
so he's not a doctor. Always go to your physician first. But I actually go to George for a lot of the things that I'm going through, and I take supplements, and 100% of the time it's handled that issue for me. So that's my recommendation for George.
Does he?
And he's good looking.
Does he put healing hands on people?
Yeah, that's this. Yeah, usually
Yeah.
when they don't ask.
Yeah, that's the problem. I get smacked a lot.
I should have said that. That's a perfect Tommy Burke response.
I'm like, let me help you.
Oh man, so Mr. Tommy Burke, we want to really, I mean, I feel like we could probably not. I'm sure that we could probably go on for hours having conversations about the industry and
Well, see,
and about life.
when you read the book, it's like
Yeah.
326 pages.
Wow.
I'm
It's-
definitely gonna get that book, and would love to have you back at some point, if you'd like to. If you enjoyed your time here, we'd love to have you back.
I
One
want to
of
know
the
more about your kids.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. My son is amazing. He's
Oh,
he's
I think
energetic.
Brianna, I saw you on that talk show. Is Brianna gonna get in the business?
She loves dancing. I don't know if she wants to act. I kind of was talking to her about it a little bit, but I think she likes dancing right now, so she's doing more dance.
How old
My
is she?
son likes computers. She's 12,
Good
and
age.
my son is 7. So we'll see. It's one of those delicate things where I really don't want to push them into, because I know that this industry. I mean, if it's tough now, I don't know what it's going to be when they're out there. All they can have is the wisdom that I can give them, and I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Just they're healthy. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
100%. 100%.
Exactly.
So, Tommy, we want to thank you so much for your time this evening, for being with us. We had a great time, and everyone go out there, get the book. Let me just flash it one more time here on the screen so everybody can see the title and everything. Sorry, I didn't mean to cover you up there, Tommy.
There he is.
Not just sunglasses and autographs. 30 years of film, television production with life and near-death lessons and dark humor. The dark humor is what I love,
Yeah.
because I'm the one that people always go, "Oh, God, get out," because it's just it's more fun. But thank you so much for being with us.
That's my pleasure, guys.
All right, have a wonderful night, and we will talk soon.
Okay.
Take care. Wow.
Wow. Amazing, huh?
That
What a
is
story. What a story.
That is
Just
what,
like
a, what a guy too.
Absolutely.
Just an awesome person, and this is the kind of stuff that we talk about a lot on the show, where we say, it's not always the work; it's the person.
Right.
The person
Correct.
gets the work, not the work gets the person.
That's right.
It's the individual that develops the tenacity to go out and just keep going, and whatever hits them, you just boom, keep going. And this is why we do this show, is because we want to give these lessons to our audience and let them know that whatever you're going through right now, there's always a chance. You always have an opportunity. Something can always be done about it, no matter what it is. And that's the important lesson for today. And with Tommy Burke, and I want to just show the book one more time. So go out and get the book. We're gonna have a link for the book. As a matter of fact, if you go on to down there, there's a link to the website. You can get it there as well. And yeah, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate you. We will see you all again next week. George, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
For being here. And we'll see you all next week, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For George Batista, myself, Tommy Burke, and all of us here, Thank you. Good night. And as always, peace.
Peace.